Flosstube, welcome back to my second episode. It is Thursday the 22nd of December today. I just want to say a big thank you to everybody that took the time to watch my first episode. I know sometimes it can be a bit hard going with someone who's new to the Flosstube world and just watching them try to juggle everything around, but I really appreciate all the lovely comments and the likes I've had from that video. It's really spurred me on to do the next little bit, which I'm about to do in a moment. I'm also very sorry that it's taken me so long to do the second episode. Just like so many other people I've seen on Flosstube and just in life, it's been manic. The last few weeks have just been absolutely manic, and I can't actually tell you what I've been doing. I've just been trying to get to the end of the school term. We broke up on the 16th. And then I spent the last few days just getting the house sorted, ready for Christmas, getting the food shopping done this morning, cleaning the bathrooms, all those mundane jobs that often during school time just tend to fall off the end. So I've now managed to get everything sorted, everything's up together, presents are wrapped and ready to go. As I said, food shop is done. And now we're just waiting for the big day. So I thought I could now sit down and share with you what I've been stitching. There isn't a huge amount because of how busy everything's been, but I've got a few little bits to show you, some haul, and then a few plans for the next year of stitching fun. It's not going to be a really long video because there's lots of Flossmasses going around. Thank you so much to everyone who's been doing Flossmas. It's been really lovely to see the festive stitching and also watching everyone unveil the different advent calendars. It's been really nice. I didn't get any like gifty type advent calendars this year for stitching. I did one where you get a little pattern, which I'll talk about in a moment, and we get a pattern, you do a little bit of stitching every day. So therefore it's been really nice to see other people opening their advent calendars and seeing all the goodies that they've been getting. So I've definitely earmarked a couple of advent calendars that I'd quite like for next year, if obviously they are done again. So I'm going to make a start now with the whips that I've been doing, the ones that I shared last time and the progress that I've made. As I said, there isn't a huge amount of progress on some of them because of just how busy life has been. So the first one that I'm going to show you is my Dinosaur ABC. Sorry, there is a bit of thread here. I'm just going to take those off. So here is where we are now. So as I said, not a huge amount has been done. These bits up to here were all done before. On the last one, I will put a picture in as well so that you can see what it looked like before. Here, so all the way up to M was done. I've now done this little dude here, and then these two down here. I've just started the pterodactyl over the last couple of days, so his wings are starting to form now. Really lovely. There's going to be sort of a fade, so it goes from red, orange to different colours of orange. So I have got, what do I just do with those? Here, the colours. So it will go from a 720 to a 722 to a 743 on his wings. So that'll be a really nice fade on there, which will be really nice. So that's that. Now I did have get myself in a little bit of a pickle. So just here, if you follow me on Instagram, I did post a photo of this. I did have another dinosaur in here. Unfortunately, I didn't start him in the right place. So I used one of this dinosaur's legs here as my starting point. However, I didn't look at the pattern carefully enough. And actually I should have used the tail as that starting point. So I was well out. So then I couldn't fit this one in, and obviously as it is an alphabet, I couldn't just miss out one of the dinosaurs because that just wouldn't have worked. We would have ended up with a 25 letter alphabet instead of a 26. I haven't brought myself to be able to stitch that one again, so I started with that one first of all, but then had to completely frog him. He was complete, then I had to completely frog him, so I haven't been able to bring myself to try stitching him again. So I moved down onto these ones instead, and I will come back to them in a moment after. So I've got S to do over here, and then I'll go back and do them before I move on to the next part of this pattern. Now, this was a sale. It has now, every bit has now been released. So all of the parts are finished. So this is what it will look like when it is complete. As you can see, as I mentioned on my last video, you are supposed to do it on an evergreen coloured fabric. However, I've chosen to do it on a 16 count printed granite Aida instead, which I got from Lakeside Needlecraft. I just think it's just a bit lighter because this is quite a dark fabric. So that's what it will look like when it is all complete, which will be nice. So I started doing the whips to go challenge, if you like. That hasn't worked very well. I'm supposed to have got different projects finished off. I haven't got any of the projects finished off, apart from one that I put on there originally. So not a great start with that. However, I'm not being too harsh on myself about it. It will be what it will be. Life is busy. The second project that I have been working on is this one here, which is my caterpillar cross stitch into Christmas sal. Again, this one has all been finished now. All the parts are released. Let me see if I can I've got a picture of the completed one here that I can show you, because obviously I can't show you my completed piece because it's not even close. Sorry, it's a bit blurry, but this is the finished project when it's all done, and as you can see, they sort of show it as a wall hanging. I won't do a wall hanging. I'm not quite confident enough at the moment with the finishing parts of this. I have also just noticed that on the bottom here, even though I've edged it, it's all starting to fray and come away here, so I'm going to have to go back and sort that out so I don't end up losing too much of the fabric. Anyway, distraction. So this is as far as I've got. Again, I will put my before picture here so you can see how far I've come on. I think from memory these ones were all done. I've just finished off number 2. I know the gingerbread man is new. I started doing some of this red for the roof, and I've done all the light bulbs now, and then these 2 up here. I'm really struggling to get into this one, I have to be honest. I'm just not drawn to do it, and I know it's sort of got a bit of a time frame as Christmas is 3 days away. I feel I can probably get away with stitching this until sort of January time, the 12th night, and then it will have to go away if it's not finished. But I really would like it to go away because I've got plans for other Christmas stitching for next year, so I don't really want to have to pull it out again. I've got on better with the even weave. I think, as I mentioned before, the dark colour of this wasn't particularly helpful for a first attempt at even weave. However, I am really loving the finish that it gives. It's definitely a nicer look, and the holes aren't quite so big. So for example, on the Aida, the holes are really big and it looks a little bit clunky, whereas this has got a bit more finesse. So I am trying to push myself out of that comfort zone by using more even weave moving forward. But it's just getting the balance right, because I do have to concentrate a lot more on this when I'm stitching on this, just because it's not a natural form of sewing for me yet. But over 2023, I'm definitely going to try and push myself to do some more even weave. But yeah, that is as far as I have got. Lovely colours, nice pattern. I'm just struggling to get into it. There it is. I have got to sort that bit out there because I don't want to end up losing it. I've got a sewing machine. I was gifted, my partner's sister wasn't using it anymore, so I've got a old sewing machine, and I was told that you could just do a zigzag stitch around the edge to stop it from fraying, but I'm just not sure how close to the edge I need to go. or if there's a specific way in which I need to do it. So I've got to maybe watch a few YouTube videos to see if I can get the knack for that and have a go. But if there's any tips on how to edge your even weave and aida so that it doesn't do this and it doesn't fray, I'd really appreciate any tips that anyone's got. So that's that one. Used all the called for DMCs, came as part of the kit. So the navy even weave 28 count all came with it. So I've just used what was called for there. And as always with all the caterpillar cross stitch, the amount of threads and DMC you get with the kit is just so, they're very generous with it. So you end up with loads left, which is quite nice because then I can wind on any leftovers onto the bobbins that I've got. Just an extra top up really. The next one I spoke to you about was on this Stitchfinity advent calendar that I spoke about in my last video. And I hadn't started this because my last video was in the end of November. So I have been able to, luckily enough, keep up with this. And I am all up to date. I did today's instalment this morning. And so basically it is a series of, so for example, the first one we had to do was the 2022. And then we've been given little bits over the days to build up. So we've got a fireplace. We've got 2 stockings. So as you can see, they were all, they're all being stitched on like parchment and plastic aida as opposed to, sorry if that's not focusing, plastic aida as opposed to material aida. New for me, not done that before, so a bit different, enjoying it. And then we've got 2 parts of a Christmas tree, which I believe will piece together. I don't know this for sure, but I'm presuming these 2 will piece together to create a Christmas tree, a 3D Christmas tree. But we haven't reached that part in the plans yet. Now I've got them stuck. So yeah, I'm presuming those 2 will piece together to create the Christmas tree. And then the bit that I started this morning was this, which I can only presume is the big man himself of Santa, the first bit. And then the next few days, I'm presuming, will finish off him. I've also never done this before either, but in the World of Cross Stitch magazines, there is quite a few examples of like a Halloween village type pattern, which results in you having to do like 3D work. And I really enjoyed doing these actually. They were a bit fiddly because they are quite small, but created 2 little 3D presents, which is part of the kit. Now, they do suggest that these should be made into earrings, so you can make the presents into earrings and the stockings into earrings. However, I'm very much a person who sticks with the jewellery that they wear. I wear the same jewellery every day, don't particularly like changing it. If I do change it, I keep them in for that day and then they come out and I put my normal back in because just what I'm comfortable with is what I can sleep in and I can just get on with it and it's what I like. So I probably won't make these into earrings, but I was wondering whether or not I could maybe attach something onto the top here of my fireplace, and then these could just be hooked on and hung up on the fireplace potentially. So I'm not quite sure how I'm going to fully finish this off. It's been really nice to do a little bit of stitching every day, and the patterns have been really clear and they've been really good at doing the, they've done little helpful videos to help with each of the steps as well. And they've got a website which is like any tips, and there's a lovely Facebook group with lots of people sharing what they've been up to and how they're getting on with everything. So I've just got to have a think about how I'm actually going to fully finish this, because I don't really want to use them as earrings. I'd rather create them as a little ornament altogether. But got a couple of days left to finish that one off. It has been a bit of a challenge as I've been using this was sent, which was an Etoile DMC metallic. Holy moly, they are a pain. The ends split, they don't lie flat. I completely understand what people are saying now about metallics can be a nightmare. I have seen from other people though that this is, or some people have commented that this is the worst one and that Crynics are better. And then so I was reading someone's post the other day, and actually is it Princess thread is actually again easier than Crynic. So I'm going to have a go. I love the finish that it gives. I love the sparkle and the metallics, and I've got a couple of patterns that I'll share with you in a minute that require metallic-y Crynics, but I might give the Princess thread or Princess thread a go instead, because that'll just make life an awful lot easier. So I'll give that a go. So that's that. They did, because of using metallics, they did send in, as I mentioned before, the Thread Joy, Thread Joy gloss with the kit. I haven't used any of it, mainly because, to be honest, I forgot about it and I'd started using the metallic already. And then they said they had a video call, and they suggested that you should use it from the beginning because it can look different between when you're using it with metallics and when you're not. So if you haven't started using it, it may make them look a little bit different. So I'd already started, so therefore I had to struggle on and do it without the whole way through. But I've done it. I don't think it's the neatest of stitching. However, I don't know if that'll focus. It's not horrific. I can live with it. Sorry if it's not focusing very well. But it's not horrific. I can live with it. I'm just pleased. Another thing tried, tick, done. So yeah, done that one. The last bit I did, because this was all on the parchment paper and on plastic aida, I had in my stash the little Mill Hill beaded kits. And these are on parchment paper and I really enjoy doing it. So I thought, oh, I might just have to get it out and start one of those. Now let me just make sure I get it the right way round. Right, it's that way, yeah. So, let's use one of the envelopes there, so you can see. So this is what I've started on that one, and I started the straw house. So that's what it will look like when it's finished. Oh, sorry about the glare. And then that is what I've done so far. Now I did do a chunk of this and then had to frog it because I didn't read the instructions, and I did 2 threads and it's supposed to be 3 threads to give it a slightly fuller finish. So I had to frog it and redo it with the 3 threads, which was fine. I had enough thread to do it. Just frustrating. So yeah, that's that one. Now this one, as it says on the tin, is a charmed ornament, and it comes with it's a counted glass bead kit. So of course it comes with its beads, and I've never beaded before. Exciting because it's a new challenge. However, the issue is having never done it before, I wasn't quite sure what to do. So I watched a video by Teresa Little Stitcher about how she does all of her beading, because she does a lot of beading in her different projects that she does, because she does a lot of the fancy ladies. So I watched one of her beading videos, and one of the tips that she said was about the size of the needle. So the needle that has been supplied in here, I don't know if you can see that, sorry, is a beading needle. Perfect, because I'm beading. However, the eye is so tiny, just as she said. So the eye of this needle is microscopic, and I struggle at the best of times to get my needle threaded. So she suggested using an embroidery needle that was size 28, because they will still allow even the smallest of beads over the eye, because they're a much narrower needle all the way down. They just have a slightly longer eye rather than a really small eye. So I think before I start the beading, I'm going to have to buy some 28 embroidery needles just as Teresa suggested, just to make my life easier, because if it's a new thing that I'm trying, any strategies or any tips to make it easier for myself, I'm definitely going to be taking on board. So again, if you've got any tips on foolproof ways of not messing up your beading, please let me know, because I'm going to have to give them a go on this one. And I've also got some other projects lined up that also require beading. So yeah, any tips that you've got, please share them, other than the size 28 embroidery needle. If you've got any other words of wisdom, please let me know. But yeah, really looking forward to doing that and having a go at doing that beading. Bit different than just your normal stitching and back stitch. Still haven't mastered a French knot, but yeah, if I can get beading, I can use beads instead of French knots, which will be equally as effective and nice in my opinion. Oh, another thing that Teresa Little Stitcher mentioned, which I am going to say, and another tip she had, was to use one of these. I think she calls them a tacky bob or a sticky bob or something like that. But these are exactly the same, just bill instead of bob, which I got from Lakeside Needlecraft. So that one will be good. It will keep all my beads from rolling away, so I won't be chasing them around the table, which will be amazing. So I got one of those as well. So they're my two tips for my beading. But again, anything else that anyone suggests, please let me know, because that will be great. Now, I'm going to move on to my haul now. So already mentioned that I've got the tacky bill there, which was great. I also, it was my birthday in September, and I had my eye on some needle minders from Caterpillar Cross Stitch, because I had been gifted a Caterpillar Cross Stitch gift voucher. So these two needle minders ended up in my basket, and I used my voucher to purchase them, and they're absolutely gorgeous. I'm hoping that they will produce some more in this style over the next few months, years. But yeah, they're gorgeous, really love them. And I'm particularly fond of this one because I am a tortoise mum. So having anything tortoise or turtley related, just really cute. Talking of turtle and tortoise related, Agnes Little Minders released her Christmas 2022 collection of needle minders. And I was on Etsy just before they got released, and I managed to bag myself this little gorgeous beauty. Again, tortoise turtle, absolutely gorgeous. It's so beautifully finished, like even on the back. It's just all beautiful. It's too nice to use really, so I just intend popping it on my stitching stand and just look at it. I don't actually use it as a needle minder, but I'm definitely going to be trying to get more future collections just to build up these, because they are gorgeous. So they're those. So the other piece of haul that I bought, which was quite an extravagant piece of haul to be honest, was I succumbed to getting a Lowry stand. So on Instagram, I follow the Lowry company, and around Black Friday they announced that they were doing a rainbow stand. Just going to tighten that up so it doesn't keep twisting around. Rainbow stand, which would be reduced than the normal ones. And the reason it would be reduced is because there would be some slight imperfections on some of the parts. I can't tell where any of that is, but also all the different parts are different colours. So my one is pink, purple and blue. And so I got this as in that deal. I can't see any imperfections on it. It looks absolutely perfect. It does exactly what it needs to do. They said that there might be a few flaws in the paintwork. I can't see them. Maybe I've just got an untrained eye, but absolutely brilliant. It's so much better than the wooden one that I was using. Fit together beautifully, definitely sturdy. It slides underneath the sofa perfectly, and because I managed to get it in the reduced I also invested in some of the extra accompaniment bits that go with it. So I've got the sort of like pin cushion parts where I can put my needles. These are really handy for when I'm using sort of DMCs and I'm using 2 strands. The remaining 4 strands of that colour can just be hooked over the comb, thread comb, and then I can use it rather than having to keep winding it or putting it down somewhere and then it getting stuck to me and ending up somewhere random. And I also bought I don't know if you can see it, the top part here, which is the magnetic board for you to put on your paper charts. It's just handy to have it there because I often found that I was looking down and looking up and getting myself in a right tizzy. So I've got the magnetic board, I've got the different markers, and I've also got other bits that I bought previously which will allow me to follow and mark where I am on my paper pattern much easier. So yeah, and I am a stand stitcher, I'm a 2-handed stitcher, so this works perfectly for me. Obviously if you're a stitch in hand person then this is irrelevant. However, really pleased with the purchase. It's definitely made my life a lot easier because it's a lot less bulky than the wooden one that I had before, and it's just easier to use and manipulate and get into the right position. So really pleased with that. My partner thinks he's hilarious as because I got it just before Christmas. It's actually my Stitchmas tree, but yeah, wouldn't be without it now. So definitely glad that I purchased that. But a massive investment. But I needed something because I was getting aches in my hands from where I was having to grip onto the hoops, onto the Q snaps, and that just makes my life a lot easier. So love that. And then the last thing that, not so much my haul, but my parents have signed up to the Readly subscription, and they've given me one of the profiles. So I've been lucky enough that I've been able to go onto Readly and find all of the cross-stitching magazines that I think it goes back to 2017. So different editions of the Cross Stitcher magazine and the World of Cross Stitch magazine are all on there, plus multiple other ones. There's German ones as well, which are great, and some beautiful patterns in there. So I've just been spending my time really going through and sort of downloading the episodes, keep saying that, the editions that I really like and have got patterns in that I want to stitch. So I've now ended up probably tripling the amount of patterns that I've got to want to stitch just from going through there. So really lovely, loving that as well, and the fact they're all just at my fingertips, which is great. I'm not sure how it's going to work when I want to come to stitch them, whether I can take how I get that then maybe onto Pattern Keeper or how I mark it off. I'm not quite sure how it will work from that. So if anyone has got Readly and has used it before and has got any suggestions on how to get it from the from on the Readly app to be able to use it as a working document to be able to stitch it, I'd be really would really appreciate any guidance with that. So loving that. So that's my main bit of haul, like significant bits of haul. What I have been doing though is over the last few months is I've been starting to think about what I want to do for 2023. And I know lots of people have been putting plans together for what they want to achieve in 2023, and there's lots of whip go boards popping up on Facebook, and there's lots of different stitch from stash challenges going on, and sales galore left, right and centre. It is quite overwhelming trying to work out what you want to do, especially for someone who's very easily enabled and everything looks great and I want to do everything. So I have got to try and rein myself in a little bit and think about what it is that I actually want to achieve. And I've got so many patterns that I really want to have a go at and have like start and try in 2023. So what I'm going to be doing is New Year, New Challenge. So I've started that through doing stitching on the parchment as opposed to on material. And I'm going to also be just trying lots of different things and trying new things and trying to find what I'm most comfortable with and enjoy doing the most in cross stitching. So within that, one of the things I'm really pushing myself to have a go at, and I never thought I would say this, is to have a go at some full coverages. Now, I'm at no point ready for a Heaven and Earth Designs style full coverage. There are some beautiful ones out there, and I'm really enjoying watching the progress of, so for example, Blushing Pink Stitches, who is doing the beautiful full coverage max colour shelves, which are gorgeous. And I'm enjoying that through someone else. I'm not at that point yet where I'm ready to do that. So I have asked for Christmas, and I know I'm getting it because I had to order it and tell exactly what I needed. I've decided to have a go at this one, which is a Gecko Rouge the Bee. I can't remember who the designer is. I will find out and I'll put it at the bottom here. So this is one that I'm getting for Christmas, which I really enjoy doing. It's not a huge full coverage, but I think it will present some of the challenge that comes with full coverage, and whether or not whether it will work for me or not. So one of the new challenges I'm going to be doing is attempting some full coverage. So this is the first full coverage that I'm going to be attempting, and the other full coverage that I'm going to be trying to attempt is a Disney lace. Now, Nifty Stitch has got some beautiful Disney silhouette pictures that she got off Etsy quite a while ago. Now, unfortunately, they're no longer available, but I really love the idea of these silhouettes. And I am a Disney fan anyway, so I really wanted to have a go at something like that. Then I stumbled across these by NeniDesign, and they are lace silhouettes. So different to what she's doing. However, another full coverage. And I think this will present me again with another type of challenge, probably more so than this one. However, again, a different type of full coverage that I'm really excited to have a go at in the new year, which is this Cinderella. And there's a whole selection, and this was part of the Black Friday deals, which I managed to get a whole, I think there was 9 different ones. Hang on, let me just check. So I think I got them all patterns, I think, for about £8 in this Black Friday deal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, there's 8 different patterns. So you've got Alice in Wonderland and Ariel from The Little Mermaid, Sleeping Beauty, Beauty and the Beast, Cinderella, Jasmine from Aladdin, Rapunzel, and Tinkerbell. So there's a whole selection of them with different colour schemes. So I'm going to start off with Cinderella and then have a go at some of the other ones as well. Now, I think it is going to be a challenge, and it probably will be a whole year, if not more, project. But I'm excited to give that one a go. So that's those two. Another one that I've been seriously enabled by Nifty Stitch, so she's got a lot of answering to do for these, is the Stitchrovia. She's been doing, Nifty Stitch did some beautiful Christmas pudding by Stitchrovia for Christmas. And then she mentioned in her last Flosstube, Flosstube number 8, I believe it was, about the fact that she'd done some other ones previously. So I think she mentioned she'd done the Victoria sponge pattern previously. And then she was working on looking to start the pancake one either this year, not next year, because she's saying she's not going to do any starts next year or new starts. But she said she was going to look at doing the pancake one next year. So in Black Friday, Stitchrovia had a sale, and so I downloaded the Victoria sponge Stitchrovia to have a go at. So that's another one that I'm going to be having a go at in the new year. Again, that one's going to be on an even weave, so that'll be interesting to have a go and see how I get on with that. The next one was the Cross Stitch Bunny and Rogue Mama Stitcher have been doing a Kazarina dragon sal. They've been doing this pancake dragon, and they are just gorgeous. I love dragons and that side of things. So I've decided to have a go at this one. the Wonderland dragon, mainly because I also love books and stories, and obviously this one's from Alice in Wonderland. So this one's going to be gorgeous to have a go at stitching. And I downloaded multiple ones. Cross Stitch Bunny's been really great. I messaged her about the fabric she used for her pancake dragon, and she's kept that to one side for me because I loved it. And so she's going to be dyeing some more fabric over the next however long, when she gets a chance to, which I will then buy to go alongside this other piece, so I can stitch the different types of dragons on the same size material, so that it all sort of works and they're all a similar size, and then we can be presented as a set. So that will be nice to do that as well, and to join in with that sal. It's not a sal whereby each one is broken down or anything like that. It is a pick a dragon, stitch it, and use the hashtag the Kazarina dragon sal, which I'll put at the bottom as well. So some beautiful dragons being started and stitched and ongoing, so have a look at that, and if you're interested, join in. The last thing that I'm going to show today, I have got multiple things kitted up. I'm just aware of the length of the video. I don't want it to be a ridiculously long video, so I will share new ones as I start them. The last one though that I do want to mention, because I was just so delighted with how Tina from Shepherd's Bush was. So on Facebook, someone shared some beautiful patterns and their work that was produced by Shepherd's Bush, and it was part of the Scatter sort of series. Now, Shepherd's Bush is an American company, so I wasn't sure, being in England, whether or not they would post internationally. So I messaged Tina at Shepherd's Bush, and she was amazing. She was like, just let me know what you want. I'll price it all up for you, tell you what the postage is, and you can let me know whether or not you want it. So I did. I sent her a list of everything that I wanted, and she priced it all up, priced up the packaging, postage and packaging, and then she sent me an invoice. I said, yep, go for it, and she sent me an invoice and PayPal, done. And then literally within, I think, 2 weeks, I had all the patterns with me. So the ones that I've gone for, as I said, it's part of the Scatter series. So the first, and this is something that I am going to be doing this year, is each one of these sort of marks a point throughout the year. So the first one I'm going to be doing is Scatter Hearts. And it's got lots of little beads on it. So as part of the pricing up from Tina, I did ask her to include the buttons. So she did do that. So therefore I've got, I have got the buttons as well to go with that one. So for the Scatter Hearts, I've got that. And then this is the first one this is the first sort of event or point on the calendar. So I've also bought I bought the material that I'm going to be using for it, which is a 32 count light look Murano even weave. And then I've also bought now I've never used these before, so I'm excited to try these out, the classic Colourworks and the sampler threads, the Gentle Art sampler threads that were suggested on the pattern. So I've got all of those, and we are ready to go for that around Valentine's Day. So that's the first one of this set that I'm going to be starting, is the Scatter Hearts. Okay, let me show you one more time. Scatter Hearts. So looking forward to that one. That is the first one in the calendar that I will be stitching. Then shortly after that, St. Patrick's Day. So I've also got Scatter Luck, which I just thought was really cute, with the little rainbow and the leprechaun and everything there. And again, Scatter Luck came with, didn't come with, I asked for the little buttons to go with it as well. So there's Scatterluck and the buttons. Then after St. Patrick's Day, we then move on to Easter. So I've got the scatter eggs. And so sorry about the glare here. And then, is that better? And then with the scatter eggs also comes the scatter eggs buttons. Oh, this one's really cute. It's got bumblebees and Easter eggs and rabbits and little chicks in there. Really cute. And a new challenge, because there'll be Beading doing this type of beading. And then there'll be Beading doing this type of beading and buttoning, which will be exciting. And then I've got two more. So then we jump then to October, where we've got Scatter Pumpkins. And Scatter Pumpkins comes with those buttons to go with it. And then finally, Scatter Snowflakes. Hard to see that one on there. And again, that comes with its buttons. Now this one's got a little snowman in there, which is really cute. So I'm just trying to move it around because they've managed to sit on top of each other, so you can't see the mitten because of the snowman. So I'm just going to shimmy that around. There we go. You can now see the mitten and the snowman. So there they are. So they will, my scatter patterns will be dotted throughout the year for key events. Now, I have also got the Caterpillar Cross Stitch season trees. Now, they're quite big pieces, and what I liked about these was that actually there isn't a huge amount of stitching in them. I say that now, there could be a huge amount of stitching when I get to it, but there doesn't appear to be a huge amount of stitching, and the stitch count is 23 by 80. So it isn't a huge amount of stitching. So therefore I thought they'd be quite easy wins and quite easy milestones to just tick off throughout the year. So that is one of my plans for next year. And again, it ties in with my new year, new challenges with doing the buttoning. I've got beading to try, buttoning to try. They're being done on Murano even weave. So I've got a different colour for each one. Murano even weave, which again will present a new challenge. I've never used it before. So again, ticking off what I want to try and achieve this year. The last thing that I want to show you is these. Now I am buzzing for these. So I said that I needed to get my Stitching to Christmas done because I had Christmas plans for next Christmas. And that's true, I do. So I have been exposed to these, the Nora Corbett 12 Days of Christmas series, and they are gorgeous. So there is one for each of the 12 days of Christmas. So this is Partridge in a Pear Tree. I haven't bought them all, I've just bought the first three. This is the 2 Turtle Doves, and this is the 3 French Hens. So my plan is to try and get, there's no way I'm going to get all 12 done, but I would like to have made a start on these. Because they are Nora Corbett, they all have, and these are what I was talking about they need Granite, they've got Granite in them, but I'm going to try it with the Princess Braid instead. Because Art and Designs, they have got a conversion. So they have got a conversion between Granite and the Princess Braids. So I'm going to try and do the Princess Braids instead. And they've got the beading on them. So this will present a new challenge, and they are just gorgeous. So I've got those 3 to start off with. I'll see how I get on. By the end of the year, I won't have them all done. I will have started them, but I would like to have all of the patterns. So over the year, I will build up my collection. So by the end of the year, hopefully I will have all 12 for the 12 days of Christmas, and then I can just stitch them as and when I get a chance. But I will be stitching them in order. I will do number 1 first, then number 2, and then number 3. So that is that. Now, as I'm not planning on doing the whip go, and I'm not planning on doing any of the challenges and things like that, I am just going to be using my book of days for the next year and just marking down what I am stitching and when I'm stitching it and how I'm getting on. I've also already begun to mark in the retreats that I'm attending. So I have signed up for the Bee Stitchy retreat, Southwest retreat in Newton Abbot on the 3rd, 4th and 5th of February. So I have signed up for that one. I'm not going for the full weekend. I am just going for the one day. So I'm going to go for on the 4th, Saturday the 4th, to that retreat. So if you're there, it'd be great to see you. Please let me know if you are going. I've got, so my mum's recently retired, and she's now just trying to work out what she wants to do, what different hobbies she wants to start off in her newfound retirement time. She loves doing things like colouring and like watercolour and things like that. And she was a big cross stitcher, and that's why I sort of got into cross stitching, because of that's what she did. So we are going to the Exeter craft fair in April, which should be great. Great to spend some time with her and just having a little mooch around. Then I've got another retreat in October, which is the Stitch in London retreat by Marie at Stitches and Diamonds. So I'm going to that one in October. And then I've got the Floss Friends retreat in November on the 11th and 12th of November. So I've got 3 different retreats that I've signed up for. So it'll be really great. Again, new year, new challenge, pushing myself out of my comfort zone and going and meeting like-minded stitchy people in person, which will be great. So if you are going to any of those retreats, please let me know. It'd be great to speak to you beforehand and then meet you in person at those retreats. I think that is everything that I've got to show you. It is the minutes on this video have ticked away. Hopefully with a little bit of editing though, that will reduce a little bit. But thank you very much if you stuck with me this far. It's been really nice to just sort of offload and share all my stitchy bits and pieces that I've been doing. All normal YouTubey things. If you've liked what you've seen here and you want to be notified of any future episodes I'm doing, please just like the video, hit the subscribe button. Any comments will be great. Love hearing from you, and I reply to all of them. So please, yeah, any thoughts, any pearls of wisdom, anything that you've got to say, please write it in the comments below. I am on Instagram, Rosie Cross Stitches, so if you're in between videos, that I will update there what I've been getting up to, so feel free to go over there and have a little look. Again, it'd be lovely to hear from you over there too. So thank you very much for spending the last 40 odd minutes with me. Have a fantastic Christmas if you're celebrating Christmas. If you're not celebrating Christmas, just enjoy the time with loved ones and friends. And I look forward to seeing you in the new year with more stitchy excitement and whatnots. So thank you very much. Be safe.